Hey friend, welcome to Milk and Honey with Lemon. The Bible says in Numbers 14:8, and if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us safely into that land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. On this podcast, we talk about stepping into that overflow that God has for us by becoming those ultimate Proverbs 31 women. Hey, I'm Lemon. I am just like you, sister friend. I knew God had something more in store for me, but I couldn't see a way out of the laundry piles. And frankly, I resented that Proverbs 31 woman. How was I going to live up to the hype? That is until I found out how to really step into becoming this Proverbs 31 woman through leadership development. In this podcast, you're going to find financial freedom, leadership growth, and motivation so you'll be able to do all the things God has called you to do with ease and really step into that land of milk and honey. Welcome back to the Milk and Honey podcast. I'm your host, Lemon Price, and today I'm really excited because I have a new friend on, Katy Siuk. We literally just met. Brooke introduced us, Brooke Elder. So if you guys have listened to the episode I did with Brooke, go back and listen to it. She's great. Katy is a heart-driven trailblazer on a mission to help purpose-driven entrepreneurs refine their message, love, obsess, and create high-converting virtual events to generate quality leads and maximize revenue. A believer, fierce go-getter, and certified professional coach, Katy brings over 16 years of powerful coaching experience and a dash of playfulness. She is definitely a fun person. She aims to move purpose-driven entrepreneurs into powerful, purposeful action to create extraordinary results. And when she's not working, she is spending time with her family. She's got a hubby that she's had for 20 years and 3 teens. She likes to go for walks and hikes and snuggling with her pets, watching movies, reading books. And really, it is just a focus for Katy of faith, family, and friends. So thank you for being here, my friend.
I'm just so honored and so excited to meet you and both of us knowing Brooke. I mean, friends have similar friends.
I know. Wait, I feel dumb, but I didn't know that you were a believer too. Okay, now I'm like really excited because we can talk about Jesus all the time because that's all we talk about on this podcast. So, Katy, outside of the bio, who are you? Tell me about yourself.
I'm a bit of a goofball. I like to have fun. I don't like to take life too seriously, but I'm also a passionate person. The compass that's always guided me is I just believe every single one of us has that really powerful purpose built inside. The hill I will die on is helping people uncover what that is for them and get them out there in the world because the world needs it more than ever. I'm sure you would agree, especially now. I'm very down to earth. I just love people. My faith is my world. And I just want to do my part while I'm here on planet Earth to make it a happier place if I can.
Love that. I just want people to love where they're at and what they're doing. That's really my mission is I want people to love what they're doing and love the people they're serving and love every aspect of their life in a God-honoring way. Okay, how did you and Brooke connect? Like, I'm so curious how you met Brooke.
Okay, so I believe it was a few years ago. She reached out to me. I think she was just DMing people. She was in a different space then, but I ended up responding to her and saying, well, you might be someone I'm looking for my summit. And this will be number 7 that's coming up. I've done a few and I had her join me and we just clicked. I was like, I love this redheaded beauty. Her faith is important to her. And we kept in touch and I had her at least 2 times. I'm having her a 3rd time. It might even be the 4th. I can't remember. I love what she stands for. Her sailboat journey inspired the crap out of me. I'm like an octopus. She can't get rid of me. The rest is history.
I have such a funny story about Brooke. Brooke used to live where I live. She sent me like a DM asking me to look at something when she was making a pivot. I saw that she lived in Statesboro, Georgia. And I was like, but that's such a small area. Like, how weird. I lived in Statesboro, Georgia. We just moved like 10 minutes away. But I messaged her and I was like, wait, do you really live here? And she's, yes, we just moved here. And so then we found out we were like going to the same church. It was like so weird how that whole like thing happened. Then she had to go pick up her boat. I don't if anybody has followed Brooke's journey, she like sailed around the world or attempted to. It was a hot mess experience. You should just go listen to Brooke's story. But she came back into Savannah. She texted me. She's, I'm back in Savannah. And so I met her down at the dock. Okay, so Brooke and all of her children are very tall.
I didn't even know that.
They're all giants, and I'm 5'2". And they were all just climbing up the side of the boat to get into the boat. And it's a big boat. And so I'm there and she's, okay, just hop up. And I was like, I might need like a boost here. Like, I am so small. And then when I got out of the boat, I was like, this actually feels like a life or death jump that I'm making. I'm going to do it. So it was the funniest thing. She loved it. They all laughed, but I was like, Brooke, you're like a foot taller than I am, my friend. Yeah.
But
I
it
was
wasn't
like,
vertically challenged.
the reason we connected is because you have this really cool event going on. So can you talk about the event, purpose of it? Because I feel like it fits your brand mission with what you
It
just said.
does. I think all in all, I say I've been an entrepreneur since 2011. That's true. And most of that time, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I went and made every mistake you could possibly make. And I did everything wrong. And I struggled and my confidence tanked. So, really, what I've learned in all of this is entrepreneurship is no easy feat. And I feel like it can be very lonely. It can be hard to know what step to take next. There's so many conflicting pieces of advice out there. How do you even navigate? Over time, as I've been doing virtual summits, which I'd like to come up with a new word, by the way, because I think of summits and I get sleepy when I say the word. It's boring to me, which is a contradiction to the fact that I'm hosting a seventh one. But really, what I'm trying to create is an Odyssey. So the event that's coming up is called the Entrepreneur's Odyssey. The tagline is your journey to higher profits and greater impact. I'm all about, yes, we need to make the money, but even bigger than that is what kind of difference can we make in the world? Because if we all had these gifts, they need to be given away. They need to be utilized. So this event is a little different from previous ones I've done. Normally I've done the 5-day, 25 speakers in 5 days. It's a little overwhelming. And so what I've done is I'm adding a bit of creativity to this one and making it more like a journey. So it's going to be a 3-week journey and we're going to have 2 speakers a day, but it's intentionally set up so that you will follow a process. You're not feeling rushed. You can absorb what information you find useful and what's applicable nowadays that's going to support you in growing your mission in the world. So I am featuring 28 speakers, myself included, and Lemon here in the room. And we're covering all kinds of really great topics, everything from what is the vision of what you want to create? What are some strategies? How can you use social media? Like things that are going to be just very applicable to how to survive in the online space today. So the event runs from November 4th to November 22nd, if my brain is working properly. I'm remembering the dates. We will be opening up registration on the 21st of October. So it is coming fast. And I am literally just bringing in all my people. We're almost there. And it's just going to be fun and awesome and all the good things. Because yeah, it is my mission. I don't want people flailing out there trying to figure it out on their own. Let's come together. Let's have a journey. It's time for it to see the light of day. So that's my mission.
Can you give a little sneak peek on some of the topics that are being covered in this event and who would be a good
Absolutely.
fit for it?
The first is your purpose. What is your why? We got to start there. Why are you even doing this thing? And it's got to be deep. It's got to be a purpose. It's got to be meaningful in order to carry you through the storm. The second one is mindset and well-being. So really that's understanding like the way I talk to myself. And if I'm as a CEO of myself as an employee, do we even like each other? Are we going to get the job done? And the third one is strategy and implementation. So what I've done over these 3 weeks is folded this all together. So the first week is all about laying the foundation. This is your purpose, getting your mindset in order, creating alignment. So topics include things like, what's an example here? The CEO mindset, how to think like a leader and scale. So I have my own coach talking about that one. And he talks about being the conscious creator, the empowered entrepreneur, and optimal overcomer. So CEO has a different play on words there. Imposter syndrome. I have someone coming in to talk about that because we all had that. And then when we get into some marketing, I have people coming in to talk about AI, just how to streamline better, how to be authentic in your sales so it doesn't feel salesy. And then when we get into some of the scaling, that's where Brooke comes in. And she's going to talk about being in integrity and having purpose in your scaling process, in your scaling journey. I'm going to talk about the magic of conversion events because that's something I love to talk about. And so far I have Lemon here talking about using public speaking to expand your business influence. We might tweak the title a little bit, but you're really using the stage to get that voice out there and create an impact. So it's very carefully laid out so that you can build on the previous thing and come away at the end with a solid action.
I love that. And I will tell you, I don't know that I've ever seen somebody do a summit. And I know you don't really love that word anymore, but that's like
We'll
a
work with it.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody do one that's longer than 2 days or something or like a Monday to Friday. I would love your thoughts on this longer process that you're doing. Yes.
Yeah.
And so when I think about it, I would love your perspective on it because this is your bread and butter. This is your jam.
Honestly, there is a bit of experimentation. It is a bit of going off the beaten path to try something different. The purpose of a summit from an entrepreneur's perspective is to generate leads. But I think sometimes we get caught up in creating X number of leads that we're forgetting about the quality, we're forgetting about the human connection, we're forgetting about the experience, we're forgetting about all the opportunity there is for people to experience being seen. When you join a summit, typically nowadays, I mean, there's a lot of great summits, and I'm certainly not wanting to discredit any of them. But what I would say is in the feedback that I put out there, people are like, it's overwhelming. You start out with day one and you're excited, but then by the time you get to day three, you can't keep up anymore. And you're just finding yourself shutting down and you forget you even joined. So I'm trying to move away from that model and create more of an experience where, yes, there's the possibility people will still fall off. We have to be real about that. Life is busy. And if it's done in the right way, the idea being, I want to create a sense of community with these people and really get the speakers every day that they're released. My plan is to bring them into the community and interview them live. We're going to find out about the human behind the business because we want to create a human experience. So that's my thought. It's an experiment. I'll find out what works and what doesn't work. But the intention is to get away from the system of just generating leads and creating something where people are like, oh, I remember the entrepreneur's Odyssey. That's when I learned this. That's when I connected with this person. And that's when I made some friends. So that's the vision.
I really love that because I think that entrepreneurially, as a whole, I feel like everybody's moving to automation. Everybody wants to automate everything in their business and like losing this human connection. So I love that you're like, no, I want the human experience and I want the connection and I want the community because I think that people are desperate for real human connection.
Yeah. And even if you watch a training and you think someone's amazing, I feel like there's an opportunity to get to know that person, the quirks and all, because if you don't, you might be like, oh, I love their system. But then you go to a webinar or whatever for them and you find out maybe we don't jive. I think it's a great opportunity to just bring on and I'm very picky about my speakers, by the way. I want people who are about integrity. They're about giving back. They're fun. They just want to make a difference. And of course, I want them to benefit as well. We all do. It's a win all around. Yeah, like maybe you don't jive with someone. Maybe speaker number 8 is someone that you're like, yeah, I don't agree. You got a few others to choose from. So that's the idea. Let's bring everybody together and create an experience. It could be life changing.
Okay. I'm really obsessed with this because there's so many times I've attended a webinar. I mean, oh, I like their system and I like what they're doing. So I'll spend the money on it. And then I get in and find out like this person and I are not aligned in any way, shape, or form. And that their viewpoint and the things they teach are literally the antithesis of what I believe. I got my start in the entrepreneurial. So
We're
and that's
human.
why I got my start in blogging. And my blog went viral in 2011 because I did barn restaurant reviews. I grew up in a tourist town. And so that's what I
Oh,
did. And it was fun. And I was 21. I loved it. It was great. And so I was like, when it was time for me to revive a blog for myself and my business, I was like, I wonder what I've missed in the last couple of years. I just want a refresher on like best like SEO practices and like best headline writing and structure, those kind of things. And I bought a course from somebody who was making 6 figures a year from her blog. And I was like, perfect. And the first entire month of her program was about like very new agey things. And it was
yeah.
like, you need to track your moon cycles and like all this like chakra alignment. And I was like, what does that have to do with my blog? And then I had to have an awkward conversation where I had to send an email because she had like a refund policy. And so I was like, okay, can I get a refund? But I'm like, all of that because I didn't have the human side of the business.
Yes. I've done the same thing. And I think I've become maybe, I mean, we have to go and learn our lessons and do the things to learn the things. But Um, for me, it's okay if I don't align with someone. In fact, I'm probably saving them a headache and a lot of money and a lot of time by just figuring out that there isn't a connection there. There isn't alignment. And it's okay. You do you, boo. As if I'm gonna go over here and take care of and to me, it's funny because I used to do summits and I would just bring whatever speakers I could find. Now it's very intuitive. It's very much this is either alignment or it isn't. And I honor that now because I learned the hard way that if you bring the wrong speakers in, chances are you're bringing in the wrong people as well, and they're not going to align. And that just creates a negative energy for everybody. So even if you never work with one of the speakers, you might start following them and be inspired by certain things they say or do.
So, how do you know who the right speakers are? Is it an intention of the event, or is it more like this is who I am and these are the type of people I want to work with, or is it a combo of both?
I would say it's a combo. It's a lot of learning along the way and being really okay with standing in integrity to who I am, what I stand for, what I don't stand for. When it comes to who I bring on, if I sense that they are very ego driven and they want the stage for their own benefit and nothing else, I can sniff that out pretty quickly at this point. And I think that's just having had those people and realizing and of course in hosting events like this, it's a collaborative thing. And all the speakers are asked to contribute and do their part to promote because if they don't, they're getting a stage for free, essentially. And that's not fair to all the people that are putting in the time and the energy. I just make it clear when you go to the application process, like the page, it's spelled out. You have to be a person that's service based. You need to be in integrity. Typically, I say I'd like you to be at least a believer. I don't hold people back if they're not Christian per se, but I do want them to understand the concept of this isn't even about us. At the end of the day, it's about something so much bigger than us. And that they're here to make a difference and their message gets to get out there. And what they have, of course, they need to have something of value to offer. If they could talk about something. So there's a lot of parts you need to know where you stand and what your values are and make sure that who you bring into your what you create is in alignment. Otherwise, the event is not going to.
Yeah. And it's you putting it on, right? So it speaks volumes of who Katie is, right? Or if you're listening and you're like, I want to host an event, great. That's going to say, this is who I am. These are the type of people I align with. It is a statement just by hosting it and the type of people you bring in with you.
Right. Which is something you learn over time.
So if somebody wanted to host like a conversion event, how would you define that?
Yeah. So a conversion event for me is you are creating an event online that it could be any topic. It could be maybe you talk about menopause, maybe you talk about weight loss, maybe you talk about, God, I don't even know. The possibility are endless. Whatever your thing is and whatever your message is, for me, I shared with you earlier, it's about please, for the love of all things holy, step into your purpose. The world needs you. That's my underlying message. So my events are always going to be built on that value system, belief system. And what the intention is bringing people that organically are attracted to who you are, what you stand for. And then you ideally, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have some sort of service, a way to serve them to make a difference in their lives. So the conversion event is a way to introduce them to that. And then if it is an alignment, you can make an offer. But ultimately, the event is a way for them to sample. It is a way for them to get to know you, but you're also leading them into what's possible for their vision. Conversion events is everything from webinars to masterclasses to challenges to, in my case, I do summits, although I'm coming up with a new word somewhere, somehow. And it's really the scale of it. And the collaborative part I love because I've made so many incredible connections over the years self, because then you get invited to join people's things and they tell people about you and it just grows.
Yes, for sure. I love this. So if somebody was like, okay, I want to start hosting events, where would you tell them to start? Or is that something you do for people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they
Yeah.
go?
Where do they go? The first thing I would say is I'm very easy to find. So you can always find me on Facebook, Katy Siuk. Just spell my name with a Y. If you don't, you won't find me. I'll be doing in the summit, I'll be providing a training on this as well as a summit blueprint that you can get. So come to the event, reach out to me anytime. I'm probably the most down to earth friendly person you could meet. And I'd be happy to answer your questions and talk about what is your idea. But yeah, with the event coming up, I think that's probably the best next step. And to reach out to me personally, feel free to friend me on Facebook. I love meeting people. My face.
I love that. Okay. Friend, where can everybody go to connect with you if they do want to host an event?
Yeah. We all have web pages, but if I'm being honest, mine is not up to date right now. So I don't love to send anyone there. My email I can give you, it's literally info@katysuik.com. That's KatySuik. You're going to get a hold of me that way. I'm very active on Facebook. Facebook is definitely my comfort zone, my go-to. So you can find me there. Yeah. Email and Facebook are definitely your best bets in terms of reach.
I love it. Okay. So I will link to everything for Katy in here. I promise.
When are you airing the podcast?
Let's look at the calendar. I can actually
Yeah.
drop it on the 21st, or I could do it next week on the
Okay.
14th.
If we do it on the 21st, then we'll have the registration link ready. You'll have it in your hands and they can go sign up for the summit right then. Otherwise, if they reach out to me as well, I can certainly make sure they get that information straight away as soon as it's available.
I love it. Guys, come to the event. I'm speaking at the event, which is going to be so fun. I'm excited and talking
Yes.
about kind of one of my favorite things. And it's funny because the whole reason there was chaos and that Katy has been so gracious is because we are recording this on Tuesday. I was supposed to fly to San Diego on Thursday to speak at a conference. And because of the hurricane, my flight had to be changed last minute. And now I'm flying out. Literally, I have to be at the airport at 5 a.m. I'm speaking at this conference twice. And so I'll be fresh off of a stage when I speak at your event too. And so I'm excited. It'll be a great event. And I know some of the speakers. So I'm just going to tell you guys to come because they're all lovely people.
They
And
are.
yeah, I'm so excited. So, Katy, thank you for doing this. I'm excited about the event. You are just such a lovely person. Just thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And definitely thank you for, yeah, with all the Florida hurricane craziness, my goodness, I hope everyone is safe and okay.
Yes. If you guys are listening, I mean, this will air post Milton. So we'll know what kind of happened post Milton. But if anybody needs anything, if you were impacted by Milton, please reach out. We're all here to support you because
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. We're feeling the impacts of Hurricane Helene still here. I can only imagine. Just thank you, Katy, my friend. And I will see you in our summit.
Yes, you will. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey friend, what a joy it has been to share today's journey with you. If you found a spark of inspiration or a nugget of wisdom that resonated, would you bless someone else by sharing this episode with them? It could be the encouragement they need to step into their purpose and calling. Also, if you could spare a moment to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I really appreciate your feedback and it really helps our community grow. Remember, the road to discovering God's call for you isn't one you have to walk alone. So join me again next Monday for another episode where we'll continue to explore the depths of leadership and the heights of our heavenly calling. Until then, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep trusting in His plan. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, friend.